The broadcast is live.
I think we went live.
Oh, yeah, there should be a bit of a delay before YouTube, probably.
Yeah, well, we're still not live on YouTube, apparently.
Oh, yes, we are. That's us.
Yay! Okay, we have figured out how to go live on YouTube.
Woo!
Very exciting.
Well, hey, okay.
I'm still not awake, though.
That's okay. Hello, everybody. We are your hosts from the Because We Can Readathon. I am Jenna from Just a Little Bit Random.
Which way are we going?
It doesn't matter. Pick one.
I'm Kat from Stars and Embers.
And I'm Kat from Brews and Reviews.
And we're going to talk about our group book, which was The Girl from Everywhere by Heidi Heilig. We'll be spoiling everything. So if you haven't read the group book and you want to, maybe hop off for a bit. But if you haven't read the book and you don't care about spoilers, feel free to join us. I will also talk a little bit about the readathon itself as well, what we liked, what our favorite videos were, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's the plan. We're just all very excited that we figured out how to live stream on YouTube.
We only started trying to get live about an hour ago. So
you guys did. I was still asleep.
Time zones. Ooh, we love that. Okay, so we all read The Girl from Everywhere. Did we like the book?
Yeah.
It was all right.
It's a book.
I definitely gave it 3 stars.
So did I.
Yep.
Awesome. So
I don't know. I think it was interesting. I just don't think it did enough to be more than 3 stars for me.
Yeah, nothing happened for a good chunk of it, and then something happened. But then at the end, it was like nothing happened because they didn't get the payoff for all the things they did.
yeah, I definitely struggled with that. I know we were in Hawaii for like the longest time, and that was fine and everything, because by the end I was like, awesome, they're going to have this map and we're going to get to go and see what happens if he tries to save her mum, and then like she'll disappear and whatnot, and then just nothing. And I was like, oh, what did we read this book for exactly?
I mean, it sounded like it was really promising. Like, I think there were things about it that did sound really promising, like the going into the maps and things like that. I kind of expected we would go into a lot, like, more maps and like fictional maps, and I thought, well, that could be really cool. But then we didn't. We just stayed in Hawaii the whole time, and nothing happened. She went dress shopping like 3 times, which I don't think was necessary at all.
And out of that, she got 1 dress.
Yeah, I definitely expected us to go into a lot more maps, and we didn't. It felt kind of promising at the beginning because like we were in somewhere, and then we went into New York, and then we went into Hawaii, and I was like, this is great. We're going to keep hopping so we can find these maps. And then we just sort of were so stationary in Hawaii for so long until all of a sudden they were like, right, so we're going to China now. And I thought I missed something because I was like, what are we doing in China? I don't understand. And then like with the terracotta warriors and everything, it was fine. But I was like, when did all this like mythology and magic come into things? I mean, granted, going into maps is probably a little bit magical, but the rest of it, I was like, nothing really got explained very well.
Yeah. Auntie, what her name was or something, she could have explained more.
She could have explained anything.
Yeah, I felt like it was really vague, everything that she said, and like it felt like the sections with her in were meant to be more impactful than they were, but I just left like going, oh, it's an old lady that's talking, and we moved on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There was just so much of the plot that felt really underdeveloped. Like we kept going into this like Blake when he made his map, and then all of a sudden we like had the night watches, those things, and then the like pond that could heal people, and Nyx was like, did he create those things because he made the map, or were they already there and he just put the map down? I'm like, that's something really interesting that they could have explored, and I don't know, maybe they'll explore it in the second book, but I'm sort of like, you started to do something really awesome and then just kind of didn't.
Yeah. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of starting and then no fruition from it.
Yeah. I kind of felt that with like the characters as well, is that like they had like the beginnings of interesting people, but then they were just never explored. So it was just like super surface level characterization. Like the other people on the ship, like the other crewmates, could have been really interesting. Like, what was the name of the woman with the dead wife that she kept thinking was playing tricks on people? Like,
yeah, I feel like literally the only characters that were like sort of fleshed out, but even then they weren't really, was like Nyx, Kashmir, Blake, and the dad, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, so there was B, and then her dead wife was Ian. Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah, her.
I like that, but it just didn't ever like go anywhere else. And I just kind of wish we'd actually learned more about the other characters rather than just sitting in Hawaii talking about dresses, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
feel like well, no, sorry, you go.
Yeah, another one of those like threads that started that nothing really happened was like the love triangle. Like she's
yes.
And then I think there was a kiss with both of them.
There was definitely a kiss with Kashmir. I don't remember about Blake.
Yeah, I think there was some...
I just thought that whole thing was a bit unnecessary, to be honest. And also, how old was Kashmir? Does anyone know? Because like it was a little bit weird to me how she was constantly saying how he was shirtless, and I kept getting the impression that he was like in his 20s, and then she's like, what, 17?
I think she's 16. I thought she was 16, and I thought he was like 17.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Well, that would make more sense.
Yeah, I thought he was 17, but I liked that they had like the actual maps in the book. So every time we went somewhere new, we got to see the map, but then we only got like 3 maps because we went to 3 places.
Yeah.
And that was really a struggle for me.
I feel like we could have if we'd have just gone other places and it hadn't been about staying in Hawaii. I will say that one of the things I did like was how they talked about Hawaii, and like they made it sound like, oh, it was this beautiful place, and like explored it that sort of way. And I guess about like how people suck when they colonize places, and but I feel like that was all the Hawaii sections really had to offer. It was very disappointing.
Like I learned some things about Hawaii, but there wasn't much plot in Hawaii.
No, I mean, I think from a historical point of view, I think some of that stuff probably did happen. Like there probably was a group of conspiracists that were trying to overthrow the king and steal all their gold and whatnot, which is fine. But at the same time, I was like, this is taking a really long time and nothing's really happening. And the whole thing was about they desperately wanted to try to find this map so they could get back. I thought at some point in this book they would find that map and go back, and then we would see what would actually happen to Nyx, as if her dad would have to make that decision. And then by the time they got the map at the end of the book, he was like, maybe I'll go. And she was like, cool, I'm off. Thanks for teaching me how to navigate. I'm just going to take my map and go. I was like, so what is the whole book pointless then?
Yeah, kind of.
It was built up that he would make that decision. It was like he was dead set on it, and then suddenly he wasn't.
Yeah, and then because I like the beginnings of the relationship between her and her dad, because it was so like iffy. I liked that, and I wanted them to explore that more, of why they were so broken now and how come she didn't like what. But we knew why she didn't want the same things as him, but she never actually had that conversation with her dad. She never like actually sat there and went, hey, I know you love my mom and I know you want to save her, but have you ever considered the fact that saving her means I am probably going to cease to exist, this version of me? Like she literally never actually had that conversation with him and being like, you've had me for the last 16 years, raised me, taught me all this stuff, and now you're telling me that you don't love me enough to want me to stick around. Instead, you want to go back and try again with my mum, but with a different kid. Like it'll still be her, but it'll be different. I wish they'd had that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never did. But he was a dick as well, though. Like, I didn't find anything redeemable about him in there.
No,
and I kind of just wanted him to fail the entire time.
Yeah, like when he threatened to like, I'm guessing like kill Kashmir, I was like,
yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Why is this necessary? There was so much of it that was unnecessary.
mm,
And I feel like her wanting to run away was never properly explored either. Like, she desperately wanted to learn how to navigate so she could leave, but she never sort of talked about why. And also, leaving is not actually going to stop anything. Like, if your dad still finds this map and he still goes back, you could still cease to exist even if you've left the ship.
yeah.
Like, that's still a thing that's going to happen. So she would have been better off having that conversation with her dad instead and not trying to leave all the time.
True.
I feel like this is one of those situations where so much could have been solved if they'd just had a conversation.
I hate the miscommunication trope. I'm like, speak, just talk.
Just talk to each other and everything will be fine.
So going back to the conspirators, what was with Blake's dad? Like, why did he just made some weird decisions.
Yeah, he just like snapped at the end.
Yeah, it was like, okay, under pressure because he didn't have the finances or whatever, but then all of a sudden decided he wanted to murder people.
It all happened so quickly. Like, that whole ending just escalated. Like, we had, probably a third of the book where nothing happened, and then all of a sudden at the very end we were like, bam, we're in China and we're getting these terracotta warriors who we can just somehow control, and then these people are going to murder everyone, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, we're going to get the gold but not. And I was like, what is actually happening? I'm so lost.
Yeah.
Very, very quick. It's just the pacing overall was not great.
No, definitely not. Did you guys like any of the characters at all?
I kind of like Kashmir. Like, he was probably the most fun one.
But he was still like a bit jealous, and like I don't love that. But none of them were really explored enough to go, I really like that character.
No, I definitely feel like even Nyx, I feel like everyone was such a surface character, and it was more, I wouldn't even say it was more about the plot than it was about the characterization. It was just sort of, this was an idea that was surfaced and it was like sort of skimmed across, but the actual characters and whatnot, I was like, I don't feel like I know enough about you to like or not like you.
Yeah.
So, would
feel like we've almost run out of things to say about it.
And would either of you pick up the second book?
Probably
quickly.
I mean, if I ended up with one, like a copy in my possession somehow, like someone gave it to me, I would, but I wouldn't actively seek it out.
I'm gonna look up the synopsis because I am curious where it goes, and I feel like maybe the synopsis would like.
Yeah. Well, I will admit, I loved, like, in the paperback version that I've got, I assume it's the same for you guys, like the history stuff that she put in the author's note was incredible.
Yeah, we got that.
So yeah, looking about like the history of 50 pirates sacked Honolulu, looting the treasury and the homes of the wealthy, making off with 3 million in coin without firing a single shot. So like I liked that aspect of things, and then the fairy tales that she brought into it, I liked, and then I really liked the little, like how Kashmir was always speaking different tongues in certain. I liked that a lot. There were definitely elements where, especially with Kashmir saying all these different words, there were elements where she was like, the author was like, look, these people, they go to these different places in these different times and they know how to fit in these places. But we didn't really get to see any of that, which was the disappointing part. I was expecting us to be traveling from map to map looking for this map in particular, not we go to Hawaii just a few years later than we were meant to, and then we're going to try to do this heist to get this map off this person who just happens to have it.
Yeah, with the like Kashmir, it's saying different things in there. In the thing at the end, it doesn't have like the meaning of Amira, like what he's calling next to the whole thing. Is that just like a generalized pet name? Because Google Translate wouldn't tell me what it means.
Was it like a love or something like that? That was what I thought it was, or like
I thought so.
I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah,
or maybe it was actually a character's name. Like,
because I assume
I
it's
don't
something
know.
like love, but like, what exact word is it?
I don't know. That's gonna bug me. I didn't even realize to find.
Let's all look it up.
Well, I did like put it into Google Translate when I was reading it.
It is an Arabic female given name meaning princess.
Ah, that makes sense.
So he's calling her princess the whole time, which is kind of really cute. Like I liked the relationship between Kashmir and Nyx. I just once again feel like it wasn't fleshed out well enough for me to actually really love it.
Yeah, she ended up spending too much time with Blake to like expand on Kashmir. But then if you like wanted her to be with Blake, she ended up spending too much time with Kashmir. Like,
yeah, I'm not a fan of love triangles in general, but this one in particular really kind of bugged me.
Yeah.
It just was so pointless. Like, I feel like if we'd spent a bit more time on the ship with Kashmir, then like that could have been a real thing, and then we didn't. There was just no need for Blake to exist really at all.
Yeah.
No, because he wasn't
to make that map.
Not even that. He was also just in the way. Like everything they tried to do, he just was in the way of them doing it. I was like, this could have been solved. Like when they were trying to steal the map. If Blake hadn't been there, then we wouldn't have had that issue.
Yeah. Blake is the problem.
Blake is totally the problem. He's the worst. Like he was a nice enough character, and I did like the idea of when he made the map that maybe he did bring these like fairy tales into being. But I was like, I don't like you enough to care about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, why did he have to be a white guy? Like, could he not have been an indigenous person, or like someone who had migrated there that wasn't a white guy, a rich white guy? Sorry, like it just feels like we could have had a different perspective there. Maybe I don't know. He was like saying, "Look at how great this island is," but okay, from the perspective of an outsider, could we have had someone who was actually born there? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been. I was kind of expecting to like meet more Hawaiians since we were in Hawaii.
And yet all the people that we spoke to were the colonists from America.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, no worries. Which was fine, but also not.
I just feel like he was trying to get like everything that Blake said was trying to give us a perspective of like we should save Hawaii. It should be how Hawaii should be, but like that would have made more sense coming from someone who actually was there all along rather than had come to colonize it.
I don't know. So, I feel like because of the role Blake's dad played in everything though, and that's why he was so important. I feel like it wouldn't have worked if he was indigenous to Hawaii because of who his dad was and what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we could have met somebody anywhere. Apparently not. Anyway, so overall though, would you recommend the book to people? I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I'm sure there would definitely be people out there that love the book and really enjoy it. It's just, I feel like if you are really into historical fiction and learning more about colonization, that sort of thing, I think you really enjoy it. If you're looking for like an adventure of hopping through maps, I feel like maybe you won't because it's not quite what the book was about.
Yeah, I think we probably approached that from the perspective of, this sounds like it could be like a fantasy type book with historical elements. And as we all obviously read a bit more to the fantasy side of it rather than historical fiction stuff, I can kind of see why we specifically would be a bit disappointed by that.
I think this is definitely more of a historical fiction with elements of fantasy in it rather than the other way around. So if historical fiction is your jam, you would probably enjoy this book. It's just not something that I personally really enjoy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Also, I looked up the sequel and it sounds like the same book again. So that's great.
Awesome.
Like,
I don't think I'll be continuing on with this series.
It's about her finding out that she's destined to lose Kashmir and trying to find somewhere to like manipulate time and change history. It's the same book, but with her as her dad. Like,
right. So I assume the thing with her dad just never gets resolved. He clearly never makes it back to Hawaii, or he chooses not to go save her mum.
Yeah.
Wow. That just makes that whole first book really pointless. And then the second one is the same thing again. So is that one also pointless? I just, no, thank you.
Is there like a box note for the second book?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue on with this series. I don't think I will. But there we go. That was our first group book that we chose. At the very least, it did cover like a heap of challenges for the readathon. So it was a book that involves travel, different culture for some people, near an ocean, science fiction.
Kind of sci-fi?
Yeah, kind of sci-fi. And
maps.
One other thing. Maps. Had a map in it. So, I mean, it definitely covered a lot of challenges. And like, I'm glad I read it, but I wouldn't choose to read it again. And I definitely wouldn't continue on with the sequel.
It's also probably like when I move again, I very well may unhaul it. So
yeah, I might. But
if you're looking for space, then this isn't one I'm going to hang on to of all the ones. Even though it is nice and floppy, I'll give it that. That's all it's got now.
Mine's definitely not as floppy. I think this is one that I would rather unhaul and give to other people who might enjoy it more than I did. But all right, so that was our group book for the first time that we did, which is great. I enjoyed reading a book with people and talking about it. Now we'll just talk about round 2 in general, I guess. Just talk about a few things. I loved round 2.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I liked all our videos. And is Jenna frozen?
Yeah, she's frozen for me as well.
Come on.
Oh, back. Nope, she's gone again.
Oh no. Jenna.
Come on.
I think I heard you for a second there, but I don't know, because I would say, can you leave and then come back? But then if you leave, does it, because you're hosting it, does it just stop?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, you moved. You're back.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it did this to us earlier. Anyway, that's a fun time. Looking at the actual YouTube is funny. I've got it up. Anyway, what was everyone's favorite video that they did?
I think my road trip one, because I like that I figured out how to put the 3 characters in one. I just didn't have time. Is she frozen again?
Yes. I mean, what a post, though. That's a good post.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to still finish my sentence, and then hopefully she's back by then. Oh, there we go. We're back.
The funny thing is every time I leave, all I can see is like a little whirly thing on my screen, and you guys are still perfectly fine, talking, doing everything fine. And I'm just sitting here like, am I coming back or not? Who knows?
Watch this back later, and you'll be like, wow, that was a good post to have frozen on. And that one wasn't. That was a blurry face.
Oh, okay, I'm going to still finish my sentence. So yeah, my road trip one, I like that I put all 3 characters in one screen. I just wish I had more time to like edit so the lighting matched in all 3. But that's,
to be fair, that was really impressive though, like how you managed to get them all in there at once.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think my favorite one ended up being one that I wasn't like planning as much, was the Mia Corbert's murder bag. Like
I loved that.
I wasn't intending to do it, and then I did like the ones that I had in my house, and then I went round to my parents' house and I was like, oh, can I just borrow some of your like tools? And then my dad just started rooting around in the garage and he was like, here, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want a plunger? And I was like, okay. But So yeah, it ended up becoming something that it wasn't originally, but I am happy with how it turned out. So
Yeah, I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
yours. I think my favorite ended up being the transformation video when I turned to the spare room into Finch's bedroom. I didn't know really how it was going to turn out, but like I wrote all the post-its and that took me forever. And then when I was putting it all up, I liked it. And so when I had all the footage and I was putting it together, I was kind of like, oh, I actually really like how this one turned out.
it looked so cute. And also, how long did that take you? Because like
it didn't
look like it took ages.
It didn't take as long as you think. I think I maybe had just over 20 minutes of footage because I was really just like sticking them on. I didn't take long at all, but I just had some music going, and that's why there's a couple of moments where I'm like, can you still see this? Is this still in frame? But that was fun. But I really liked doing my daily blooper videos on Instagram as well. I loved those. They were really fun.
Yeah, they were great.
I had so much footage left over from particular videos that I was like, I can't not share this. Like the road trip video with Geralt, cannot say well enough. Every time I try it, I start laughing.
No one can do that. No one can do it the same way that Geralt can do it.
No way. No. So I still have 2 more BWC2 videos to go up on my channel. I just have to edit them. So behind the scenes vlog and a blooper video that's mostly just, I think we're alone now. Actually, I loved our day 7 video.
Oh my God, yeah.
Our day 7, you did such a good job at editing that one, Kat. That was amazing.
Honestly, I sat there and I was editing it and I was just like laughing to myself and I was like, I really hope this is as funny as I think it is, because I was like,
it was hilarious and so funny. It was ridiculous.
I actually can't believe we actually did that dance routine, like, because I can't dance. I really can't dance. And I realized that as we were filming it. And then when I put it together, I was like, actually.
I was surprised with how much coordination I needed for like this.
Yes.
He's doing that, and then he's moving side to side, and then he's also moving his head.
It's so, because I was doing it like, because I've got so much footage of me dancing to that song, because that was my plan for like my blooper video before I was doing all of the daily bloopers. So I have so much footage of me trying this, and that's why when I saw you do it, I was like, I have mad respect. It was such a good time. I love that. And I loved the because we can't travel tag. That was a lot of fun. That was so chaotic. I still can't believe I got the same book twice. Just ridiculous. But,
I did that one on my channel, and you know the one where it was like, that you get something confiscated when you're in the airport.
Yeah.
Like I got methamphetamine confiscated. Yeah. I was like, I'm really glad they confiscated that, because wow, they'd be bad at their jobs if they didn't.
Yeah, wow. No, I think we had some really fun creative challenges this time around. I really enjoyed it. I think next time I probably need to work a bit more on my Instagram challenges, because I didn't do particularly well on those.
Forgot to post all week, like on Instagram. So
no, I posted in the car on my way to work, because my mom drives to work. So I posted in the car, and then at 7 o'clock at night when my video went up, I posted my bloopers. I haven't posted on Instagram since, of course, but for that week I was so on top of things. That's great.
I managed to post like for like the first 5 days, I posted like just Instagram things that were separate from my YouTube ones. But then like by the time it got to day 6 and 7, and I realized that I just didn't have anything to do for that, I was like, okay, it's a screenshot from my video.
Yeah.
Like, oh dear.
I ended up with a lot of photos and a lot of footage. I think overall I probably had close to, including the behind the scenes and the bloopers and everything, I probably had close to 2.5 hours of footage for for everything all together for the readathon. So that was a lot of footage to comb through.
For my road trip one, my camera battery died 3 times, I think, while filming that. So that took a while.
Wow. I just remember I was in the car and I sat like the camera up, and I did Marianne's stuff first, and then Geralt, and then I did the Uber driver. And it wasn't until I got to the Uber driver that I remembered that I hadn't put a seatbelt on anybody. And I was like, well, too late now. And then after I'd filmed all of Geralt's stuff, did I realize I'd left my glasses on? And I was like, well, too late now. Not refilming. I refilmed for the first one that we did, the first dates, Jace and Clary. I left my glasses on for Clary, and then I was going to take my glasses off for Jace, but I forgot. But then I actually refilmed it, and I hated that I refilmed it because it took forever. So that's why for this film, when I forgot to take them off, I was like, nah, it's not happening. Geralt's just wearing glasses now.
Yeah.
They don't care about like road safety, but they're like, I need to see.
Yeah. That's why I was like, shit, promote road safety. Wear a seatbelt. I forgot, but please wear one. It's just, yeah.
See, I was going to film in my car, but then I decided that I had too many weird things to do. And I was like, where my car is parked, like outside, it's in like my back garden, and I live in a terrace. So there's like houses either side of me that can literally see my car. So if I was trying to film in my car, basically my neighbors and their small children would see me being like Cujo. And I was like, no, that's a little bit too weird for my neighbors.
Yeah, so the car was in the garage, which was great, but all of the stuff that I filmed for the day 7 video in front of the like backdrop that I had, all of that was filmed in the garage as well, but I had to put the roller door up so I could have light. And so I was like, all right, let's put the roller up halfway. Do I have enough light? Can people see? So luckily I live like on the road, but we're heaps far down from it. So you'd have to look down. So I don't think anyone could see. But at the same time, I was like, if people can see, they'll literally just see me dancing around in a blue wig with a feather boa, just dancing to this song on repeat.
Just like, she really loves that song. I don't know.
If that song is not in my like top 100, so, you know, Spotify do like they wrap up and you get your top 100 songs. If that song's not in it, I'll be surprised because of how many times I listen to it. And if the Julie and the Phantom soundtrack isn't in it, I'll be shocked.
That's all. Say every song from the Julie and the Phantom soundtrack is going to be filling it.
Yeah, literally everyone. Literally, I think if the number one song, or if Stand Tall isn't in the top 10, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I still need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Like, I know that's like sacrilege, but I should watch it. It's terrible.
You really need to. I've watched it 4 times now.
We should do a teleparty between us 3 and watch it then.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so in. So
yeah, and then you guys can like watch me watching it, and it will be a bit weird, but.
Also, it's just like teleparty it's like just a chat on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right. But I think that's probably everything we have to talk about for the readathon. Group book was a fun idea. Yeah, group book was a fun idea. I enjoyed. I think next time, hopefully, we pick a group book that we all enjoy a little bit more.
Well, if we do that theme that we've talked a little bit about, we could find something fun.
Yeah, I am definitely a fan of the potential theme for round 3. We will be doing a round 3 of the readathon 100%. It will be at some point in 2021. We don't have dates for you yet, but we will let you guys know when we do. It's weird to think that round 3 will be in 2021 though. And that 2021 is only 2 months away. I know. So, yep. Terrifying. But anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. Thank you guys for joining us during the readathon. We hope you guys had as much fun as we did. We hope you really got to challenge yourself with the creative challenges, and we hope you read some really fun stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone who ends up watching this as well.
Yeah. I think this will be saved on YouTube. I don't know how, but I think it will be. So I'll figure that out, and then you guys can sit back and watch. So hopefully you enjoy. I'm going to sit back and watch it and see what I looked like every time I froze, because that sounded funny. And apart from that, we will see you guys in 2021 for Because We Can Readathon round 3.
Ooh.
So, bye.
Bye.